hey, it's Halloween, so we're going to have some fun tonight.
Uh-oh.
But with that said, when we last left our heroes, traveling back to the Gesundheits to discuss a peace offering of sorts with the Highbrows, our party reached out to the group, and after some reasoning for the betterment of all that reside on Yara, the Gesundheits agreed that peace between the two factions would be the best accord. As they traveled back up north to the Highbrows, a plan was made first to scout out the area in which the miners reside in, the mouth of Yara. The party sent the now combined factions down to Yara's mouth with the intent to travel up the nostril and into the brain. However, prior to making their way, Basil stopped and pulled Vi aside. Offering her a gift, he attempted to restore her eyesight. Upon completion of the ritual, Vi was able to communicate directly with the spirit of Yara and was gifted a profound eyesight, able to read others' emotions as well as bring the sight back to those whose eye had been clouded by another. Yara also informed Vi that the true enemy can be found not in the brain, but with her stopped beating heart. Awakening with her new abilities and foresight, Vi traveled with the party to the mouth to join the other factions, but were met with a grim sight. Many cloaks and robes spread upon the ground, and a number of the miners under the control of Ajax. Now becoming hostile towards our heroes, the party engaged, Vi using her abilities while others using their magical throat-punching abilities, apparently, to bring the miners back to reality. But as the party tried to assist the miners, an evil plaque troll attacked. And yet neither miner nor troll could defeat our heroes. And with the battle now behind them, as Basil began to inspect the troll, Sicarious made his way over to Vi, only to find her feasting on the essence of one of the miners. And so, our story continues. Sicarious, as you grip the shoulder of Vi, turning her around, you see her eyes now clouded, almost a gunmetal black, with two wisps of dark shadows, smoke almost, entering into her mouth. She seems almost in a trance for a moment. What would you like to do?
What the hell is going on here with you? As I shake her.
As you begin to shake Vi, you watch as the clouded eyes now start to dissipate a bit. But still, she bares her teeth towards you, seeming very frantic, very obscure.
At this point, I'm gonna back away from her. This place has cursed her. Look at her, everybody. As I call everybody's attention to her.
Am I can I hear what's happening? Like, am I processing it normally, or?
You are coherent at this time, although a strange feeling resides inside of you, almost akin to the feeling of being hangry.
Hangry.
That was me this morning. Yeah.
Everyone. Far distance and somebody get DoorDash on the line.
So I call out and try to get everybody's attention to pointing at her, saying that she's cursed.
I am not cursed, Sicarious.
Then tell me about your eyes. Why are they pitch black and you got smoke coming out of your mouth? What are you doing to that person?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. You're just doing strange things, eh?
Well, yeah, look, magic exists in the world. I mean, I've been conjuring creatures from magic spell pages all the time. You've never had a problem with that.
I've never seen black smoke coming from your mouth as you're standing over somebody.
Well, I mean, what does that mean to you? I mean, are you
I don't know.
kind of
that's not
expert
her
mage?
character.
I mean, yelling out curses and whatnot? Yes. No, I didn't think so.
Hey,
What's happening here? Fine.
everybody settle down. Shut up. V, what is going on? Is she hurting
Nothing.
somebody? I don't understand.
No, no one is hurt. Look, this person is fine. And
So
we
then
will...
what were you doing?
You do look a little strange, huh? What is happening here?
I always look a little strange.
No, not like this.
No, he's right.
I don't know. I just am hungry, and it's fine. This person is fine in front of me.
Finish
That's
what
the
you
only
were going to say. You're hungry and what?
I don't know. I feel different since I spoke with that god. I feel a little different. That's all. I'm fine, as you
Spoke
can
with the
see.
god or spoke with Basil over here?
What?
What did you do when you were talking to her, Basil?
Basil did nothing. What is wrong with you? Oh, I told you
Nothing
what
is
happened.
wrong with me. You guys have your private conversations. You get your eyesight back, and now you're sucking whatever it seems out of people.
I don't... Look, Sicarious, I don't know what's happening. I had a conversation with Basil, and he witnessed me literally being taken over by a god. I can see now, which, by the way, none of you gave a shit about. So, I don't even know what that means. Why do you even care? Why don't we just proceed on?
Grimoire finally finishes throwing up. Listen, I kid. I was your little CNI buddy. Look, let's all just back off. I'm sure
What are
there's
you
a
expecting us to
perfectly-
do? We're kind of in the middle of a conflict of people here. So, I mean, are we all supposed to be like, oh, hey? No, we have to take care of the situation. We are grateful that you have your eyesight back, but as you said, it is now different. So,
I
we
am
don't know
also
where this
hungry.
powder is coming from. So, is it not understandable that people are a little bit suspicious?
I'm not saying there's not like a need for concern, but there's other things going on right now. We're kind of preoccupied. Maybe we can talk about it later.
Exactly.
I think...
But all of a sudden, you're now having strange things happen to your eyes, and you're having smoke come out of your mouth while you're over people. That does not compute with me.
You know, what is interesting, Sicarious? I quite remember when Tristan was in the exact same situation, and no one was as pissy about it as they are now. So,
What?
What
what's that?
situation?
When?
What did I do now?
Why am I getting roped into this?
Yeah.
Why am I being brought up in that discussion?
Tristan, your eyes went all black when we were down in the other body of a god. And everyone was all
knows he's
concerned about you. No one was upset with you. It was oh, and you were like, I don't know. And then we just left it.
I
I'm
don't
weird
know.
all the time. You're just weirder now.
He does creepy things all the time. When he was drinking.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
What did you do?
I think what he
Tafana?
was trying to say. Oh, there she is. She's back.
Oh, okay, she's back.
Oh.
Oh, damn it. Oh, sorry. I blacked out.
Happens to the best of us.
You too?
I am very hungry, as I said.
Not you too.
And pardon my bluntness, but it seems as though it's very hardly the kind of case where one is willing to open themselves up to people who yell out that they're cursed immediately. You didn't seem interested in learning exactly what had happened. You seemed more eager to accuse them of something untoward. How's anyone
Vicky,
supposed
being
to trust
cursed could
people
possibly
who
mean
meet
that it's
with
from an
other
outside source. Grabbing your attention to possibly figure it out is not an accusation. It's to get help.
people?
Okay,
Didn't seem
so
like
it's
you were
coming
asking
from a
questions.
place of
Did I pull
concern.
my weapon on her? No. I grabbed your attention to find out what we could do because maybe there was an outside source controlling her. In fact, we are in an area where people are being mind controlled, are we not?
I am fine, Sicarious. I have all my faculties about me. Look.
I have to say, Basil, I've never seen you such engagement into discussion before that one. You're very, very passionate about this.
Basil is the only one who seems to really care anything about me, so I'm not surprised.
Or is he the only one that
Find
knows
your way
what's going
around
on?
and stuff, but I guess I'm just chopped liver.
Okay, Grimoire, look. Grimoire, I am sorry. You did help me around.
Oh no,
I
it's
appreciate
fine.
that. No, I appreciate that. I do. I wouldn't have gotten this far without you, so thank you. But I
He
must
blushes.
also bring up the fact that as soon as we landed here, you were the first to imply that I have a crooked smile and I can't be trusted. So you haven't been exactly cordial to me. And you, Sicarious, when we landed here, when we got blown up into another existence, and you, Tristan, the first thing that you saw of me was pulling a body through a portal and Oksana punching me in the face and choking me, and you just stood there. You didn't even think to say, hey, what is going on? Never mind offering assistance. Then I lost my eyesight, and none of you could be bothered to ask me how I feel about it, if I was all right. Grimo, yes, you did ferry me around. Thank you. But as somebody who has major trust issues, I am dealing with the fact that I feel like you may have done that because what else was there to do? Otherwise, you would have had to leave me behind, and that would have been unbecoming of you.
Can I talk? You make a big stink about not liking or trusting other people, and then here you are making big stink when people don't like or trust you. What is this? Come on. Practice what you preach. We are here to protect each other. Let's move forward. You are fine? Great. I am tired of it. Let's go. There are people here to save. We have job to do.
I agree with you, Oksana. I think that trust goes both ways, and I am someone who struggles with that. I have found
trusted you.
No, you haven't.
We trusted your lead on the boat when you wanted us to overthrow Jeb. Remember? We also trusted you when you coaxed Grimoire into helping you, and next thing he knows, he's ending up out in the outer space.
It's water under the bridge, by the way.
But these are instances that we trusted your word, and it turned out not to be proper.
All right.
And we also trusted you to speak on our behalf to the prince.
She did a good job.
Which I did, and I lost very much for it. So here's what I'm saying.
And it could have been worse if we would have done something because we would have surrounded. So we got lucky. But those are 3 instances that we did trust you and we did listen to you. 2 of those, unfortunately, backfired and it was bad for us. So you talk about trust. We've already extended that to you. You're the one that seems to have the issue with us.
All right. Why don't we, from here on out, this bickering is not going to help us at all. Why don't we, like Oksana said, start working together and act like a crew? Because we have one common goal right now. What do you think the goal is?
The goal is to get home.
No, incorrect. The goal is to survive. And whether you like it or not,
You
and
can't
whether
get
I
home
like
if you don't survive.
Right. So the number one goal is to survive. And whether you like it or not, the difference between our survival may be the difference between my blade or Basil's stories or Oksana's weird throat punches and vice versa. So I think it is time.
Nobody was questioning that until right now. Because we didn't feel too bad about your eyesight.
Look, if I may, V is not misleading to subterfuge herself. She's trying to protect me. You're right. The conversation that we had, it's fine. V is not the only person with trust issues. I myself have my own demons to battle, and sometimes they visualize in the form of my stories, other times a little more subtly. The incident that you describe, where V was trustworthy, those plans went awry not because of her influence, but my own insecurities and inability to actualize faith in others. Mostly because, Sicarious, I have found myself on the other side of many a witch hunt. I find myself very defensive around people because when they get close and when they learn certain truths about me, it changes the dynamics that I have between them. I did speak with V, and I did help in some small part. Though it was, of course, the great power of the god that we simply stand on that restored her eyesight, I shared with her something.
And what was that?
I am not as I appear, though many of my kind are disguised to look it. I am not human. I am a different type of creature. One who feeds on certain emotions. There are some who feed on joy, some who feed on sorrow. I am a type of being or creature that feeds on fear. And one unforeseen circumstance was in the process of attempting to share my vision, my sight, to detect and sense this fear, my entire vision, outside of that of a human, was taken from me and given into V. It seems as though another one of these side effects is that same hunger that I feel, and that desire to feed on fear. I am a being or creature known as a frightling. My descendants, my ancestors, should I say, were, upon time, a creature from the Feywilds known as a boogeyman. Creatures born and derived of fear, tormentors of children, things that go bump in the night under beds. And most, when they learn this, tend to attribute whatever fears and superstitions and paranoias that they have to my kind being simply in the proximity. I've had my head shaved bald because people believed that it would remove fear from a town. I have been thrown into the ocean and set adrift because people believed that I brought bad luck to ocean-faring voyages. There is a lot that fear can do. And I apologize if I seemed short, but when you started accusing V, it drove a lot to home. And what you say now about us trusting each other needs to start here, properly. And I understand if perhaps my inherent nature is something to be not trusted, but that is not something I think you should be putting on someone who's only just gained these strange abilities.
So you helped her. This is what I am hearing.
Yes.
You tried to help her.
Yes.
This
So
is
then
kind.
what exactly is this feeding on fear thing that you talk about?
Oh,
Is that what we witnessed or I witnessed?
Mine is through shadow. V's seems to manifest via smoke, but it's much the same. It doesn't cause or create fear, it simply consumes it. It can make a person feel brave, or it could make a person feel an intense sense of dread. It simply depends on the person and how you go about it.
Can you control it? Or does it control you?
I surround myself with enough fear to sustain myself. It is not much that I require, but I don't eat. I'm not sure if any of you have noticed, but I haven't had a morsel since we arrived here, and that's because it's the only thing that can sustain a frightling. As V is not a true-born frightling, I'm uncertain whether or not this hunger that I have will... It could be anything. It could be a great source of it. It could be just a kind of back of the mind sort of thing. I don't know. This is all new territory for me.
I feel fine. Or, Dave, do I, just out of curiosity, do I feel better or no? Not yet.
Your faculties are slowly starting to return to you. The overcoming hunger that you just felt slowly starts to fade away.
I am fine for now.
Well, if you are feeding on fear, you will get none from me. I apologize.
It's all right, Oksana. You are very brave.
And you are
You
both
can-
very honest. This I appreciate.
Well, do we think that we can move on together and have each other's backs?
Of course. I have always had your back. I am sorry if you ever felt any differently. I only hit you because I thought you were killing Grimoire.
Yes, that was unintentionally my fault.
Yes.
I
It appears
apologize.
that a lot of this has been your fault.
Yes,
Well.
it has, and which is why I don't want this to be concealed any further. And I thank you for, I guess, your trust, and I will do my best to attempt to do right by it.
Is this your true form, Basil?
Well, I don't need glasses, and you watch as Basil sort of reaches into his mouth and kind of pulls out what looks to be like kind of a pair of like dental caps, and you actually see that all of his teeth are razor sharp. But he then puts them back in. He says, while I'm definitely not quite ready to show the world exactly what I am, this is about as true as my form can be.
All
You
right.
must understand there was no accusations towards you, V. It was merely the situation. We are in a town or an area where mind control is obviously something that is going on. So my attempt to get their attention was not, how you say, in an aggression towards you, but more as of concern. If it didn't come across that way, I do apologize.
Right.
Obviously,
Maybe.
we all have our little secrets. We all have our past that we're trying to, one way or another, that we don't know about each other, and that's completely fine. Trust is hard to come by, and especially in strange places. We do need to put some of that aside to work together to an end goal. I agree with you on that.
Maybe we should come up with a code word that we all know now, but if we are under mind control, we will know. And that way, if I go off feasting on people's fear, you can just ask me. If I say the code word, you know I'm me. If I don't, I'm not me.
Throat punch.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that if that does nothing else, it'll at least create enough fear for you to feed on.
Basil, you should always feel free to be who you are with your friends.
Friends is also quite a new experience for me, one I'm becoming accustomed to. Thank you, Oksana, and the rest of you as well. I'll also let V know, just kind of, not privately, but like just speaking specifically to V, that I have a bunch of stories and spells to like tide over hunger, and I can create fear to feed on. So if the hunger does start to come back or start to pick up, to let me know, because that's something I can help with.
Thank you. I'll let you know, but I'm all right, I think, for now.
Well, I think we should use the word pineapple.
Oh, hey, Jet.
Jeez, I legit
Jet.
son of a bitch.
I don't know what was wrong with throat punch, but whatever, Jed.
Well, throat
No
punch is a
problem.
hard word to say. There's so many syllables. Pineapple, just
Pineapples. Pineapples.
listen. That's
Okay,
always been my
no
safe
problem.
word in the past. I do believe pineapple is the safest choice.
Well,
For the
Jed,
record, I actually did quite enjoy the throat punch.
And pineapples 3 syllables and throat punch too.
Oh, Primor, you are always so smart.
Thanks.
Counting syllables.
Either or. How about either or? Whatever is easier comes to mind first. I think both of them are random enough that no one would know them before.
And speaking of trust, you also mentioned that you saw footprints or some type of path heading to the heart. Were we not headed in that direction as well? Maybe we should continue.
Oh, yes. Do I still see the footprints? Or are they just sort of gone now?
You do see footprints that seems to be leading further down into the cavity of Yara.
Yes, I still see them. So that is good. We should go, I think. We have a lot of lives weighing on our timing and our assistance.
Lead the way, V. You see the path.
All right. We will start walking.
I'll follow.
Okay.
As shall I.
Jesus Christ.
Basil Basil's going to be walking behind Sicarious, but if V does look, there's actually that small little flame of black that's inside of Basil that's kind of started growing a little bit after the conversation. But he'll kind of like look like he's okay, like he's marching forward.
Okay. Basil, as you continue to take up the rear, the emotions flooding over you at this point. Something a little strange that you've never really encountered before. Having such deep conflicting emotions that you were unable to settle. It's been quite some time you've felt this way. You feel the anger of being discriminated against once more. But at the same time, you feel a sensation of confidence, knowing that you were able to tell the people your secret without any real backlash this time. I'm not sure how I'm going to work this, because you got a dark heart and an inspiration basically at the same time. So they kind of cancel each other out. But I'll let you pick out of the next two rolls that you make. One has to be at disadvantage, one gets to be at advantage.
Very well.
Okay. As you continue...
I immediately look for gum in the cave, and I would like to roll at disadvantage.
What did you just say?
I said I try and check the gums, like, in the mouth.
Oh, gum.
You know.
Okay. That's better. I know we got an 18+ rating on this show, but dear Lord. As you continue further down the tongue, you eventually make it your way to the throat. And as you do, you see a dark pit that resides directly in front of you. A very, very steep incline seems to travel down into the darkness, almost like that of a slide.
Yeah, no. Greenmore turns around and starts walking.
You will ride with me, little man.
Damn it. He shrugs and he turns back around, moping.
All right. Can I make a medicine check to like try and figure out the anatomy of a god?
I would say either a medicine check or a religion check.
Oh, I'll take religion, please. Do I know the anatomy of a deity? No, I don't, because that's a 5.
Okay.
Yep, I do not.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say.
Seems like you were just trying to get rid of that dark heart.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't even use the dark heart. I didn't even use it yet. I mean, I could have, but I didn't. I'm gonna play it fairly.
So that was your
that
was your inspiration roll?
No, it was neither. I just rolled. The throat connects to the lungs, and there's like this little flap. And if that flap is closed, we'll go to the stomach. But if it's opened, we'll go suck to the lungs on the human body. So I was seeing if Basil was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't just go sliding rapidly down, because in a dead body, that thing could be opened and we could end up like...
Stop giving Dave ideas.
Well, you guys... Well, look, I left it, and then there was this huge awkward silence, like you wanted to know what was going through my head. And then I shared it, okay?
They have magic school bus in Australia. How do you know these things?
We do have the magic school bus. Well, I mean, Miss Frizzle's Australian. Didn't you know that?
I did. I was unaware.
She did seem Australian.
Why don't we? Is there something we can put down as tests? I don't know. I will go down if you like, and I can shout to you from bottom.
Sorry, what are we worried about? That it is dark or slippery?
Both.
Okay.
Oh, neither. I'm not worried about anything because I failed my religion check.
Right. Well, I mean...
Well, does your path still lead down the way?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Dave? This is a path still lead down the
Path
dark
still
and
leads down.
slippery. All right. Sorry, I'm just seeing if does anyone have any ball bearings?
Ball
I
bearings?
thought I took
thought
the equipment.
This
before we
moment
got-
might happen at some point.
Oh, Primo!
It's just so
Perfect!
much glee and excitement. He
Wait,
presents you with the ball.
don't just. Does somebody have light that we can cast the ball bearing on and then throw
Yes.
it down?
And
Ooh.
the balls.
Look at this teamwork! I'm so happy for us all.
I'll take the ball. Cast light on it. All right. Let it go down.
No,
Okay.
Tristan, you throw it that way.
I already let it go. Sorry.
Fine, I won't do anything.
I'll give you the next ball. How's that? You can put the ball down the throat.
Oh my
Damn it.
God, no! No!
Shame.
I didn't even say it this time.
You did this. You set us up, Dave.
Yeah, we walked right into this one.
You're all finally becoming the table that I can be proud of. As you let the ball bearing out of your hand slip out of your hands, you watch as it begins to slide down this grooved, now stone tongue. You watch as it rolls down for a time, still on a heavy incline, but seems to lessen up, yet continues to roll down.
Seems fine.
Eureka.
I say we go. In worst case, if you fall, land on your bum and keep sliding down.
Okay, let's go
Don't-
down the deep throat. I will go first.
I also have a bag of sand if we want to add a bit of grit to make it a little less slippery.
Yeah, you should hold on to that. A pocket full of sand is a powerful weapon.
It is it's the only reason I have it is because I don't carry. It's like I'm not a good fighter. It's a pocket sand.
All right. Let's slide down the tongue.
Well, let's try walking first. How about that? I'd prefer not to slide, but if it's our only option, then I will.
Can we walk?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
I mean, if it's really steep, then just like scoot like on your butt and just slide down.
Can I
Sure.
go down with Greenboard like it's like a little baby on a slide?
I think you wouldn't have it any other way.
You certainly can. You rest the small Muppet-like Babbitt on your lap.
Put your hands up!
And
Hands.
you need to watch your faces.
Wow. Insensitive,
He slowly-
Oksana.
Slowly
Insensitive.
raises his arm.
Way to ruin the mood.
So give him a little squeeze. Sorry, my friend. You know how my memory is.
I know.
Okay,
Can we scoot?
sure
and then
can.
go down?
Can we have
Okay.
like started way too early scooting? Like we're already near the edge. We had to do this awkward scoot all the way to
Absolutely. You start back about 5 feet as Oksana sits down with Grimoire in her lap and begins to just shuffle forward a little bit.
Hold on, we're almost there.
like what I would imagine some kind of futuristic amusement park might have.
Okay. And with that, the rest of you watch Oksana and Grimoire begin to slide down into the darkness. You hear Grimoire screaming as he travels down. Not out of pain, more just out of fear.
Oh, was hungry.
Oksana, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Can I do it instead?
Oh. Hold on. Can you see what that's rolling? Because on my screen it's too slow. Do you want me to just roll like regular
Well, hold on.
dice?
You're breaking up into a million pieces right now. Say that again.
Can you see on D&D on what I rolled? Because it's going. Oh, it's a 19 actually.
I heard 19.
I heard 19.
Yeah.
I heard
I
19.
saw it in on D&D.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Right. As they disappear into the darkness, what are the rest of you doing?
Follow, I guess. No point in staying here.
Clenching my cheeks.
I thought we were listening.
I'm going to start
see if
further
they made
down
it.
the throat before I slide.
So you're going to try and step down?
I'm going to step to the edge, sit down, and then scoot over the edge, yeah. But I'm
Okay.
not going to start where they did, because I saw her like scoot.
Yeah, fair enough. Resting as close as you can to the edge, you lean forward a little bit, again, staring down into the pit of darkness directly in front of you.
Push.
All right. As you push forward, you feel yourself begin to slide at a rapid pace. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Saving throw. Hey, 18.
Okay. Who's next?
We will go.
Okay. Following the same pattern as Sicarious, you sit down directly on the edge. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
That 20. Wow, it's a 25.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Basil and Tristan, are you headed down behind your companions?
Basil looks at Tristan.
You want to flip for it? He gets a coin out.
All right, call it. Red or blue?
Blue.
Yeah, damn it. All right. Basil, after he flips a coin, goes in. Now he doesn't want to slide, so he's kind of like Spider-Man crawling, like with 3 points of contact until he loses his grip and just
Okay. You make it a few steps forward before you lose all control. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
I will do so at disadvantage because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Fair.
Fun voice. I like that voice.
Yes, this is my announcer voice. Greetings. I just want you to roll. Can you please? Thank you. That is an 11 and a natural 1. Oh, good. Good.
Goody.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh, no.
And I used my my spelljammer thing, so I got to see Gary again as he
Oh.
came up and went, "Ugh, you got a nat 1."
Oh, Gary. Wait, was it Gary or not Gary? Nonetheless, let's not go down
I
that
think it was
road.
not Gary.
Fair. Tristan, standing now at the top of the peak by yourself. Are you headed down with your companions?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
It's like- Oh, dexterity. That's 7.
7. As you begin to whiz down into the further throat of Yara, you feel your body kind of twist and turn like that of a water slide. You become jumbled, unsure of where up and down is. But just as quickly as you started, you feel a sharp grasp as a hand reaches out and grabs you. Looking down, you see a straight shot that falls further into the darkness. No longer any slide available to you. Looking up, you see the hand of Basil grasping onto you with his fingers just barely resting on a ledge. The rest of your companions now rushing over to the side, right at the ledge. You see your 2 companions struggling. You have about 1 attempt to grab at them, and very little time. Who's going to attempt it?
I'll attempt.
Okay. As Sicarious rushes over, he grabs down towards you, trying to hoist you both up with all of his might. Sicarious, go
Rob,
ahead. Sorry?
Rob, kill me again. I'll kill you.
It's so funny.
Too bad you'll be down the throats. Anyway.
Go ahead and make an athletics check for me. You do have a temptation dice. I will let you know about that.
And that's what, a D6?
Yeah.
I'll use it. I don't want to kill him. Alright. So, 12... 17 total.
17.
Ooh.
You begin to hoist with all of your might. Luckily, the 2 individuals are rather thin, smaller framed builds. You're able to get both of them back up to the top of the ledge. As you look around, as you stand at the top, you find a smaller corridor that seems to twist inward, further into the body of the god.
So
I'm
these,
glad of
does
Go
does
for
it
it.
continue?
I'm gonna say, Dave, do I still see the footprints?
You do see a few footprints, not as many as you saw earlier, but there is a set that leads forward.
Just one set,
Correct.
or two people in a set, or like 2 feet a set.
One set. One person.
Okay. Well, there's less footprints now. Only one set goes forward. But there's really no other options, so we must move on forward.
Could I quickly peer over the ledge and see what was down there? Because, I mean, in my thought, it's like maybe the other people kind of got hooked.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
I'll do so at advantage,
There you
because
go.
I have that now.
Do we really want to know?
Well, bug it to that, because I got an 8.
Okay. The darkness is just too black for you to be able to see through.
If only I had dark vision.
So sorry.
God damn it. Oh well. Down the corridor.
Stay focused on the task at hand. Let's go.
Continuing down the corridor, you eventually happen upon a very massive cavern. Its perfect rounded sides, no stalactites or stalagmites. As you speak, echoes throughout the entire corridor. For those of you with dark vision, you see a grayed entrance on the exact opposite side of the cavern that you reside in.
So do I have dark vision now? Or no? Just the colors.
I didn't think about that. High or low for your benefit.
Hi, always.
The
Yep.
16.
Well done.
Basil.
Hey!
Well done. Should have saved that for tomorrow, but hey.
Practice.
Well, it's this way. I can see everything now.
Must be nice.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
It's quite nice.
Could you always see like this in the dark, Basil? It is magnificent. It was always pitch black for me.
Yes, I could. Was it always this absolutely abjectly horrifying for you to be fumbling around in the dark with no idea of where you are?
Yes. Well, if you want, you could come with me. Here, hold my hand if you want.
Basil, are you afraid of the dark?
I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm just unfamiliar with it. I'm gonna grab a hand and I'm gonna accidentally grab Tristan's hand because I heard him.
Okay, buddy. This way, I guess.
Just not even realizing. Just okay.
Grimoire grabs V's hand.
Oh,
He just smiles up at her, blinking one eye at a time, very slow.
why do your eyes do that? I'm not asking that in game. Oh God. Okay. It's very nice, Grimoire. Shall we go? Do you feel a little braver now?
I mean, he looks over at Oksana.
Did you say something to her? No? Or
No, he just
looked
like
at her?
kind of nodded at
Okay.
you, knowingly.
I mean, if Grimoire is afraid, I'm just looking the way, like how V is looking at him. If she wants to feed or something.
I was going to say that as you grasp onto V's hand, you do feel slightly calmer.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of nice.
Sometimes the darkness can be comforting in weird ways.
That's a weird thing to say, but I'm still feeling a lot better.
All right. Let's go.
I can't see anything. Whose hand can I hold?
Oh crap! I cast light.
Rather than
After all that,
I look at
Then
Tristan's
nobody
hands
has
and
to
I
be scared
immediately
of the
let it
dark
go.
anymore. I figured we all knew where we were going. Sorry.
I can't see. No, I don't have dark vision. But
Well, you
it's
have
no
light
problem.
vision now. You can see up to.
I have very
40.
large, intimidating hands.
What's the range on light? Is that 15
I
feet?
think it's bright 20 and dim another 20,
Okay.
so 40 feet.
As Sicarious casts the light, it emanates throughout the entire corridor. And while difficult to see, you do see the very smooth walls far off into the distance on either side of you. As you walk forward, you watch as the shadows of yourselves flicker off each of the walls. Even though holding V's hand, Grimoire, you still get a little bit of a fright as you watch as these strange creatures of shadows dance forward. You try and calm your nerves as you count them. 1, 2, 3. Oksana's is bigger than the rest. That's 4. Sicarious, 5. Tristan, 6. But who's the 7th?
Jed?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jed.
Jed is gone.
He stayed up there. He's looking out.
What about the 8th?
Bomb anybody, but do we have an extra with us right now?
I
Points
think-
to shadows.
Grimoire,
You're very quiet.
lean forward and repeat what you said.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little scared.
But you
Do
can
we have an extra? And he points to the shadows.
Grimoire is very good counter. If he says we have extra, we have extra.
That is not. That is obviously not good.
I would look where the other end of the shadow goes.
Okay. As you look over, you see that of a small outline, humanoid in shape, as the figure begins to approach the rest of the group. You are in a place that you should not be. No safety is availed to you here.
Grimoire pees a little.
Be closer.
Coming closer and closer to you, you see a small, fiendish-looking individual. A black robe over top of his shoulders. His head very elongated. Her face very elongated. And a relatively bulbous head. Oxana and Grimoire, you've seen a creature like this once before. You should turn back now, or be punished to your doom.
There are people who are in danger and we must help them. And to do that, we have to go forward.
Wise and brave, I see. But beyond those walls, you will find nothing but death and pain.
Why? What is beyond the walls? Specifically? Do you mean death for us, or are there other people who are dead?
All that come through this way.
That is...
Very vague.
Have you ever gone that way?
Ah, yes, I travel many a places with inside the gods, keeping record as I go. Behind those walls, you will find what ails this body. Those who have taken it for their own purpose and made it their deadly home.
Then we are on the right path.
I thought I recognized Oksana. That's the guy from the last one.
He looks the same, but I forgot his name and don't want to be rude.
I was thinking the same thing.
You talk to him. You are better with social
He's like
skills.
social status got us again on this one. I don't know. Did we meet you before? You look.
It was in the god's butthole, I think, we encountered this individual. Yes, I believe it was on the way out. Do we look familiar to you? I think you showed us the symbol, the hook, and the drop of blood. Is that who is beyond these walls?
Ah, so you have seen the sigil of Ajax. And
Yes.
while I might look familiar, there are many of us out there. We are the Capri, guardians and watchers of the gods that have passed and reside lifeless in the void.
Could you not help us then? We only want to do good things here.
It is not our degree to help, just to keep record of what transpires. We have all been here since the beginning, and we will reside here until the end.
Would you be willing to give us information?
And what is in it for me?
Unfortunately, I don't know you very well, and I don't know what you would want. You don't seem of this world, so is there something that you are looking for?
Perhaps an exchange of information.
This is better
Alright.
than the last time you tried to make a deal.
Yes,
I was worried.
I know. I keep making all the deals. Sure.
Very well, then. I would like each of your names.
Oh boy.
That seems very simple. My name is Sicarious.
And you, tall
Oxa-
one?
Oksana, pleasure to meet you.
And the one with bandages, close to death himself.
I am called Tristan, little one.
And the rest, you with the blue hair.
I call myself and people call me V. Is that enough for you?
Is this what you speak of your true name?
No, it is not my true name, but it is what I feel I am.
Then no deal.
All right. Fuck. My
Which
real
is just
name
a
is.
name.
Yes, just a name.
It is not just a name, Sicarious. Names have power. My real name is Veronica.
Veronica. A beautiful name to have.
I disagree, but thank you.
I wasn't talking about you. And you,
It's creepy.
the small one.
My name is Greenmore.
Very good. And lastly, you.
Every fiber of my being wants to tell him my name is Marcus. I want to tell him. So much. But everyone else said their real names.
It's your choice.
Okay. I know. You know what? You know what? This is that trust thing. I will trust my party, but I will not trust this person who I've just met, who apparently is using true names, which, as someone who has a fairy companion, I know exactly what this is all about. So I'm going to say, I am Marcus. And I'm going to try a deception.
I was about to
the
say, you
advantage
can
I
go
got-
ahead. You can go ahead and
with-
make that deception check.
I'm going to use my inspiration from the clear the sinus joke from last week.
Okay.
All right. Come on, baby. Please. Yes. 24.
Marcus. An interesting name. You will all fare well, as your names will be etched on the bones of dead gods. But a deal is a deal. What information do you seek?
Should ask about the god's blood.
That is much bigger thinking than I was going to ask. Like that. What and where can we find the god's blood?
Ah, so you seek what the intruders seek as well, then.
I don't know if it's something we wish to take, but we're trying to get more information on what it is. We know that it is dangerous.
There is one thing you must know first. That no god ever truly dies. Only slumber until they are awakened once more. And thus, Their blood remains in a coffin made of stone body. God's blood can be found anywhere and everywhere if you have the right tools.
What tools?
Not what tools, but who tools.
Who tools, then? That's very difficult for me to say in this accent. Who tools?
There are those that are chosen to awaken a god once more. Only those who are willing to share themselves with the god can awaken it proper, whether it be conscious or bodily.
And how would we find a chosen one?
That is not for me to know.
Do you know where Ajax is?
Yes.
Where?
Beyond that corridor, as he points behind him, you will find a hole in the cavity, torn asunder. It will lead you to the chest cavity of Yara herself. There, perched atop her stone heart, you will find a stronghold ran by vicious beasts and Ajax himself.
How can we kill him?
Same as you kill any living thing that isn't of godhood. You cut and slice and beat until they move no more.
Is there hidden way in? We can use element of surprise.
None that I am aware of. However, you will find many paths that lead up towards the stronghold.
Is there one that is unguarded?
They are all unguarded. However, the creatures that call forth Ajax's name, his children, are always scurrying about.
This leads me to another question. The creature controlling their minds, it is in the same stronghold with Ajax?
It is.
Well,
Now, when you say vicious beast, what the fuck does that mean?
Creatures who no longer need sustenance, aside from the silvery essence that resides in many's bodies. Their teeth razor sharp, cut deep.
Void Pious.
If this is the name that you refer to them as.
they were pretty squishy. We'll be okay.
How many are there in there? Did you say?
More than I can count. Hidden in the shadows, clung to the walls themselves. They infest this body like a cursed virus.
Do they have a weakness?
None that I am aware of. But I'm sure, like most living things, they need their heads.
Right.
Ah,
Did you like that, Oksana?
Oksana
Twists his
is-
head slightly
that's- that's
towards
the humor.
Oksana, like,
She loves those kind of jokes.
what was the what were the things that in the Nerd Palace they told us were the weaknesses of the Void Pyres? Light.
Light was one of them.
Yes, there were other things.
I was sleeping. I'm sorry. I can't be of much help here.
Honestly, I do not remember except for the light part.
I also remember light.
Yes.
Was it
Yes.
not like a sharp
was
object?
Something. Yes, there was something on. Were we
Was-
plotting to put something on our weapons or something?
Was it copper or something?
I think it was gold.
Gold?
Oh,
Gold? That sounds familiar. Yes, gold.
Wasn't even there, motherfuckers. Come on now.
You were there in spirit.
I have gold coins. That is it.
Yes, this was the exact problem we faced last time.
What if we put gold in our fingers and use it for punching?
Okay, Oksana, you can't punch
I did
someone's
more
head
damage
off.
with my sword. I can't.
Oh,
Yes.
you don't know me very well.
I, don't want reckless violence, but if I ever get the chance to see you punch someone's head clear off, that would be something to behold.
I hope you get to see this. It is spectacular.
I hope I don't.
Well, we have light. Yes.
Yes.
We have gold. We will have to do our best. Unless somebody else can think of some insightful question to ask our friend here.
Unless
not,
there
we
is
should move
another
on.
way to
I-
avoid that room.
I have a question. Question a friend of mine didn't want to answer. What's it like being a sailor?
What the fuck? People just. I answered that for you, but. Right.
I don't know. I didn't. Thank you for all your help.
If there's nothing more, then I wish you all the best of luck. Your names will be etched on the bones of the gods.
I have a question about that. What does that mean? And does it bear anything other than just a nicety? When other people come, they will see our name on the bones, or is there something more?
Perhaps it will be a record of your victories, or etchings on your tombstones. Nonetheless,
That is very unsettling.
I'm
Help me.
sure I will see you all another time.
All right.
The creature now turns, begins to slowly walk away from you in the opposite direction.
Isn't that the direction we're going?
You're very quiet again, Grimoire.
Isn't that the direction we're going?
Backwards? Did he head backwards or did he go forwards?
No, he headed the way that you once came.
Once again. Okay.
Well,
Oh, we're
that's
gonna have that
very
weird
insightful.
situation where you say bye to someone, but then you guys both walk the same way.
Right.
What is it?
Well, There's only one way to resolve this, and let's go through the door.
So is that our plan? We're just going to walk through. Hello, tens of thousands of.
It doesn't mean that
terrible
right on the
beasts.
other side, there still could be some space.
Right after the space. Just the plan.
We
I
tried
could
to
keep an
find
ear
out
out.
this-
Try to
Thank
listen
you,
for him.
Thank you, Grimo.
Well, we do know that there is a central creature or some sort of centralized area where the mind control is being taken place. Maybe we try to identify that and make that our target.
Could you use the black stone again? They seem to like it.
I don't know. Grimo
What
has
would
it.
they do?
You got it right here. Should I try doing the thing again? Or?
Go ahead.
It's either a very good idea or a very bad one.
That's a
We're
fair
about to
point.
find out.
Should we take a vote? Or do I just...
Yes, it's voted. You do it. I'm just kidding. Vote.
I don't hear anyone saying no.
No, I think it's probably one of the best plans we have at the moment, and we can't really prepare for a foolproof plan in the position that we're in. But in case things don't work out, do we have any kind of exit strategy?
Not
No.
really.
No.
Just turn tail and run, because I don't know about you, but scaling that throat is going to be near impossible with the way it's orientated.
Hold,
Don't
hold,
make us go at the back.
hold on a
end.
second. There is a door, right? And there is another way that Ajax went through, or is that the same way?
It's the same way. There's one way in front of us. On the other side of the way is death.
You didn't have to say that.
Well, that's what the other creepy person said, so.
Right, I just didn't want to
Do
hear.
you believe every creepy person that comes out of the walls?
So at present, the plan is to walk through this door into what could be or death.
I mean,
Correct.
I think we should probably, tiptoe a bit, but yeah.
I mean, if he came through the walls, there is another way, right?
For him,
Look,
I am not
Maybe-
ethereal, Tristan. Are you ethereal?
We're
Was
never
he
going to
ethereal?
find out just standing on this side of the door until we open it and find out. Obviously, there must be another way in or out of there. And if we
Yes,
need
but
to,
the problem-
we find that secondary route.
All right, maybe perhaps if we explain it in a different metaphor. Behind that door is fire that might potentially spread everywhere and kill us all. If we can't go through the fire to avoid dying, what do we do? I was going to
Stop,
suggest
drop, and
that
roll.
perhaps... Yeah, stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Well, actually, dropping is exactly what I was thinking, because there was that big ledge thing that me and Tristan got caught on. That perhaps, look, compared to or death, perhaps whatever's down there might be more favorable.
Well, I
what
mean-
if?
I mean,
Go
there
ahead.
were more tracks up there, and only one here. Means, or the other one either fell to their doom, or there is another way.
That's my thinking exactly.
All right, so
But
we
it
got a
seems
plan B.
It seems we
Yeah.
have doom behind a door, or doom in a hole.
Yes.
So-
yes.
What
V,
doom
do you
are we
recall
choosing?
any of those tracks going over the side? Or did they just end up coming this way with less footprints?
It just seemed like there was less footprints.
So you did
Right,
not
maybe
see
because-
different paths. It was this the only path that you saw, just less of them.
That's correct.
And so if you're getting this vision from this god, this would be the way to go.
Yes, but
I mean,
to
to give you
reiterate,
your
we're
eyesight.
not looking for a foolproof plan. Both of these are death. My statement is that if we go through this way and death is inevitable, rather than simply going, oh well, death has become us, we run
Run
here,
out.
we take our chances with this. That's what I'm saying, is that should be our escape plan should things go awry, is we make our way here, we jump over, and be it to the gods what happens.
I
Yes.
agree. I'm going to try to talk to this rock now. He takes the rock and he just like faces away from the group
Good
and
luck,
does a
Grimo.
little trill into it using his echolocation.
Oh
I
shit.
don't like that.
I don't like
boy.
that he's rolling this time instead of me. That's
Yeah.
scary.
You just activated the beacon for our location.
Come
As
get
you
us.
trill into the small stone, your ears and your ears alone begin to hear scattering like nails on rocks, growing louder and louder
Oh!
from both directions.
It was a really bad idea. There's people coming. He's gonna
But
like
in which
rush
direction?
Underox on his legs and like hold him like sorry, hold it like this. He's shivering.
Is there the room is just like a giant cavern? There's no like a narrow doorway or anything that we could get behind to funnel them in so we can reduce
Out
their
of game, you
numbers?
guys are in the lungs right now.
Okay.
And is
In the lungs, like one lung?
In
Or
a lung,
like-
yeah.
Okay.
and is the wall like rock or is it lungy kind of structure?
Lungy. Lungy.
Is it flesh? Can we cut through it? That's my main question.
Well, we'll find out if they can right
Oh,
after a short
no.
rest.
What are we gonna do?
With that said, guys, we do take a few questions on our break. So if you have any questions about the cast, the story, myself, life, life, blick, damn it, it's this dragon hat. I can't think straight tonight. Life, the universe, or anything inside of it. So with that said, we're going to take a short bio break. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes or so. Hopefully you stick around because it's just getting started, folks. But with that said, stay tuned. We will return right after a short break.
That's right.
Bye bye.
Maybe
You're
not.
gonna die.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So we did have a couple questions come up on our break, so we're going to try and whip through those as quickly as possible. Oksana, aside from Grimoire, who is the person you in the party you trust the most?
Ooh. Just because of that, Sicarious.
Fair enough. Someone asked DM Dave, who are you wearing tonight? This is Vera Wing.
Oh God.
Get it?
Wow.
Just got it. Just got it. That's right. Tristan, how close to death would you really say you are? Like besties?
I wouldn't test that friendship too much. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't go in my favor.
Fair.
God.
Sicarious, are you glad to be a part of this party despite the hunger for fears?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, boo.
So dramatic.
Veronica,
He took too long to answer.
Veronica, why do you not like your name?
Oh, spoilers.
It's a beautiful name.
Fair.
Oh God.
Basil, did you ever let go of Tristan's hand, or have you been holding it the whole time?
He doesn't let go.
I think I said once the light came on, I realized I wasn't holding V's hand. He let go, but
No.
I don't
I'll leave
remember.
that. I'll leave that to your headcanon. However this goes, maybe let along your headcanon can keep Tristan and my hands together. I think that'd be an interesting experiment.
Fair.
No one's holding my hand.
Yeah.
Sicarious.
Yes, Sicarious, do you want to hold my hand? No, light!
Savage.
DM Dave, is the number in your window part of a game for us to guess what it is? No idea what you're talking about. Tristan, are you tired
Nice.
yet of NPCs calling you bandages?
Nah, that's fine. For now, it's fine.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe one day it would be too much.
Okay. Dag, you can't ask that question in chat.
That's a great question.
It is a good question. It's a fair question.
Fantastic question.
Fair question.
People want to know.
I'm sure they do. I think we can start building a random fear chart to mess with Dag. Maybe. That's not a bad idea, Crimson.
Ooh.
What do you mean mess with me? Why are you messing with me? What have I done?
Well, you'll see. Welcome to Careful Cantrip. Question for Dave. Since everyone sat on their butts and slid down a big tongue, does that mean, never mind, you'd get the dragon, where'd you get the dragon costume? It's special order. No big deal. It is very hot, though.
You missed OG's question.
I missed OG's question?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know. If anybody... Oh, V and Basil. How did it feel to have someone backing you up against Sicarious' aggressiveness earlier?
Who's aggressive?
Oh, God. You need to get this wig off. I don't know who you are anymore.
What are you talking about? This is not a wig.
I think it's a magic item.
It's the real him. It is.
He dresses up every week. This is actually what Rob looks like on a regular basis.
You go first. Dag.
So at the start, Basil was very reactive to the aggression, right? Because that's what he expected when people were to talk to him. Because V's been very, kind of supportive of Basil for quite a while, pretty much since we met in the city, to see that the start of what could be a very long train of stuff happen that Basil's gone through himself, that's what kind of really riled Basil up until he realized and had a moment to go, the reason why V was fighting so hard was because to reveal the nature of what was happening means she would have had to reveal Basil's secret, which was one of the things that he had told her to keep from everyone because of this exact reason. And while Basil's happy to take things like that, especially things like prejudice and like that kind of vitriol from people, he never wanted V to have to experience that. So coming out and sort of explaining that was not because he didn't trust V, because V was actually keeping the secret the whole time. It was something that built trust in V, but that fear that's in Basil is still there. That Basil always tries to play off weaker and less aggressive than he is, and I think Sicarious has definitely opened that up to him now. So we'll see how that plays out. But as of right now, it made me feel like I'm glad that we kind of got to the bottom of like that side of Basil.
You're welcome.
I'm very, very grateful to have wonderful role players to be able to share the stage with in order to express these characters, character abilities and traits. Because obviously it's been there like in small parts because of what Dave's done, what the group has done, a lot of the reactions with Grimoire as well, it felt good. It felt really, really good. It makes me very grateful to be part of the Careful Cantrip family and be part of season 2 because I play a lot of one-shots. So I didn't get to do stuff like that where I get to seed stuff for ages and actually build strong emotional attachments. And V needs to start talking right now because I'm
I'll just keep it short and sweet. It felt good, and I think it was something new for her. Yeah, it was good. It's nice to be backed up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. And with that said, that was the one of Crimson's. Oh, I missed another question.
Wow.
You're welcome for bringing the party together.
Way to go.
Oh my God, Rob, who are you in this wig?
Oh, okay. There was a whole bunch. Question for Rob: where did you get that costume? It looks amazing. I want to DM in it.
It's no costume. This is my everyday garb.
Jesus Christ.
God. Next
question.
Amazon is the answer. If you want it. Jesus Christ.
Basil, what more can you tell us of Frightlings?
So Frightlings were a concept from my original homebrew stuff, where they were, and I think I've still got the stats for Pathfinder ones tucked away somewhere. But basically, they're tieflings, but from fairies. And in the Pathfinder world, there's a group called the Eldest, who are the Council of Fairies, and one of them was rejected from the Fairy Council, named Count Renalk, who effectively became the Boogeyman. And he creates like Shadow Fae and other and creatures like that, and kind of like tiefling versions of that. So if a boogeyman falls in love with a mortal, they can create frightlings, which fundamentally work exactly like the base race does, but they need to subsist off fear in order to sustain themselves. They're as far as the way they're treated, they're often misidentified, usually as tieflings. Because of the relationship with Count Renalk and the Fae, fairies actually hate them in my world. Like, they actually are despised by fairies and by regular people, so they don't get along very well. Most of them find jobs that work well with fear. Like, one of the major ones I have in my world is a gravedigger, because people are always surrounded by fear of graveyards and death and stuff like that. So he doesn't actually hunt actively. He just comforts people, makes them feel good, and, manages to live off that. But then you've got people who are like serial killers who go around spreading fear and reputation through violence and stuff and feed that way. So they're a very complex thing that I made up ages ago. But yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And if you want more of this information and statistics and perhaps maybe some homebrew stuff, you should go check out Dag's channel, because he does a bunch of cool stuff over there.
I do.
So, with that said, we'll go ahead and jump back into tonight's episode. Grimoire, you continue to hear the scattering getting closer and closer. As it does, it now begins to reverberate through the actual cavern that you reside in at this time. The rest of you can hear this now as it grows closer and closer. You don't have much time before whatever these creatures are begin to filter into this room.
Pull out my greatsword.
Sicarious, as you pull out your greatsword.
Do we hear it?
He said we did.
I told you all about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now that the sound is getting closer and closer to you, you can all hear it at this point in time. And Sicarious, as you pull out your greatsword, a voice seems to ring out in the back of your mind. Remember your training. Remember your guild. Remember your oath. As it rings over you, you suddenly snap into the man that you once were. You all watch as Sicarious stands upright entirely. A new air of... Jesus Christ. A new air of confidence bolsters across his face. And suddenly you see what looks like... Well, you see what looks like a golden hue now coming over top of Sicarious. But as quickly as it comes, it fades away. And as you begin to look around, you no longer see any of the auras or colors around your companions. However, each of you feel a bit stronger just standing close to Sicarious. Until the redemption of the next change of fate, if you are within 10 feet of Sicarious, you get a +3 to your AC and receive a regeneration of 1d4 at the end of your turn.
Holy crap.
Quick, Grimoire, run to Sicarious.
Wow.
I pull up my axes and I skitter over to him. He looks golden. They don't like gold, right? Let's do that.
Wow.
The sounds continue to grow louder and louder. You only have a few moments before you believe that the cavern will be covered in whatever these creatures are.
So just
Man,
sorry,
judging
just
by the fact that the DM keeps mentioning that, it seems like we're supposed to do something, but I don't know what it is.
yeah, just to be clear, there is nowhere to hide. We are in an open cavern, and they are coming from both ways. The way we came from, and the only other way out of this place.
Yep.
So we hear them from behind that door that we were going to go through.
So there's no doors. It's just tunnels
Or
that lead towards
that
this.
tunnel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We should
You
move
want
to one of
me-
the sides at least. That way we can, close off one at
What?
the doors.
What are the walls made out of?
Yeah.
Is it
The
like
walls are hard.
The walls seem to be made out of a reddish stone.
it's stone?
Mhm.
Can I? Does it feel like it feels like stone? Like it's super hard, like I couldn't cut through it, like tissue?
As you push against the stone wall, it does begin to crumble just a slight bit.
Fuck.
I
wish
start
we had
hacking
known.
away at it with my axe and tearing away at it.
Okay, what we're going to do at this point, although the creatures aren't upon you just yet, we are going to go into initiative order because this is happening very quickly. So everybody go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Anyone else really concerned about our options here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty
Yep.
good. So, this could not have boosted my ego anymore.
Oh my god. Who are you? Okay.
Sorry. I'll see myself out. I'm sorry.
Greenmore.
So death by hole, death by
17.
door, death by spiders,
V.
death by Oksana.
18.
18. Basil.
That is an 8, sir.
Tristan.
I am ashamed.
Tristan.
No shame here.
Tristan, what's your initiative?
Oh, 15. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
You're quiet.
did
the
we.
first time, that's why I repeated.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm quiet to you guys? Okay.
No, just
Not now. No,
Okay.
you're fine
Oksana.
now.
I didn't hear Tristan's name either.
Oksana.
I heard it because of my ears.
Right.
Oksana.
Oh, nine.
And Sicarious.
I've got an 8.
Jesus Christ.
What?
All right, as Oksana begins to kind of chip away at the walls, you begin to see it is creating heavy scratches within it. V, you're up first. What would you like to do?
Well, fuck. I wonder.
It's not the time or place.
Jesus. Get out of here. Okay, you know what? I will try this since a rapier is probably not very good against the wall. V will. Oh, what is this? Sound? What the fuck?
V, what are you doing?
No, I'm sorry. She's
Okay.
gonna use one of her spells. She's gonna use a spell.
Okay.
She's going to use the spell slot, and she is going to cast Thunder Wave at the wall.
Okay.
And she's gonna make sure that nobody else gets hit. It's a 15-foot cube, so she's just gonna direct it right at the wall, near where Oksana is.
Okay. As you, describe your spell for us.
V stands there and she mutters some words under her breath, and as she does that, you just you hear this like shockwave come out, and her hair like lifts in the wind, and it's like purple energy waves
Okay.
that shoots out from her.
Okay. As the purple energy thrusts out from inside of you, it hits the wall directly with a thud, a large impact. Oksana, as the dust begins to settle and some of the debris crumbles down, you do see a small hole in the wall that seems to be opening up. Based on what you see, it's not a very thick wall at all, maybe a couple inches at the max. V, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, I'll save my bonus action.
Okay, Greenmore, you're up. What would you
Thank
like to do? The skittering getting louder and louder. What are you doing, Greenmore?
Greenmore will use his action to pull out a crowbar out of his pack,
Okay.
and we'll try to find a larger, like, boulder in that where she opened that up, and just try to get some dislodging happening there.
Okay. As you continue to chisel away frantically trying to open it up, it does open up further and further. You now have what looks about an 8 to 10 inch hole in front of you.
Then noticing that he's in the way of Oksana probably doing better than he is, he will use his bonus action to hide.
All right.
Behind the rubble that's already been made.
Grimoire kind of sneaks down a little bit, holding himself into a tiny little ball.
Puts the crowbar back in his pack and he
Fair enough. Tristan, what would you like to do?
Oh, I will totally hold my action and wait for Oksana to punch the wall.
Okay, fair enough.
What?
Basil, you're up. What would you like to do?
Softly cry.
Okay, fair enough. You begin to whimper.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a pathetic check for me.
Okay. Natural 20! I am the most pathetic character you've ever seen. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to open up my spellbook, start flipping through the pages, and what I want to do is I want to try and create a replica of the certain pattern that's on the lung wall, the rocky kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to create a silent image of a dome encapsulating us like a cyst.
Okay. Give me a deception check for me.
All of that. Don't love that. That's an 11.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, it seems as close to a cyst-like structure as possible. You seem to be hidden away for the most part. Sicarious, what would you like to do?
Gonna walk towards the hole, flip my hair back, grab the butt of my sword, and smash towards the hole where Oksana started.
Okay.
With the butt of my sword. Epically.
Okay. Continuing to smash forward, you open up the hole wider and wider. It looks to be just about a size where Grimoire would actually be able to fit through. You're roughly about 2 feet wide with the hole at this point in time. And as the loud rumble of Sicarius' blow once again reverberates through the cavern, Tristan, you look over now, seeing a number of these creatures starting to come in on either side. They act as like spiders as they grasp on the walls, pulling forward. Undoubtedly, you've seen these before. These are in fact void pyres. As they continue to skitter in, you watch as they begin to search around the cavern. But they don't seem to be coming directly towards you at this point. It seems that Basil's illusion has worked. What would you like to do, Tristan?
Be very, very quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over Oksana. Oksana, what would you like to do?
Oh, she's just trying to make the hole bigger. She's just digging with her axe, pulling at the, like shoveling as much as she can.
Okay. As she continues to shovel, it creates more and more noise. Tristan, you now see some of the heads of the creatures now turning towards the group.
I'm like, shh, quiet.
As you all look around, you can see outwards. The creatures now lurking around. It's difficult to count the number of black shadows scattered across the floor in front of you, around the cavern itself. And as they all converge in that one spot, they seem to linger, searching for something. You see their heads twisting around, trying to follow wherever the noise came from.
Is the hole big enough now for us to slide through?
It is roughly about 2 to 3 feet.
Okay.
Whose turn?
That puts us back to the top of the round, which is V.
Oh, V will just, at this point, I think she's too worried about doing anything. She's just gonna hold her action in silence. Hold her action in case she needs to attack.
What if the audience pushed together?
Basil will just gesture.
V will continue holding her.
I'm trying not to say stuff. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
An awkward
So V is
silence.
done.
An awkward and terrifying silence grasps all of you as you hear the small hissing of the creatures all around you. The closest one's roughly 20 feet away at this point.
So when it gets to Basil's turn, he's going to do something. But how close is that drop, that lip that we went into?
Originally, it's quite a ways back. It's roughly about, I would say, 50 feet back at this point.
50 foot. Okay, cool. All right, I'll do something on my turn.
Okay. V's holding her action, which takes us to Grimoire.
Grimoire, who is hidden behind rubble, did not see the shushes that everybody was doing to each other, so was forced to come up with his own plan. He
Brilliant.
ties his bell to one of his bolts and shoots it to the opposite side of the cavern.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Got it. That's one of my specialties. That was a total of 24.
24. As you reach into your pouch ever so slowly, you fumble around for a moment, finding the bell. You quickly grab your fingers underneath the little dinger thing within the bell. As you pull it forward quietly, adjusting it to your crossbow, you let loose, flying across the cavern. It lets out a small ringing noise, easily heard by everyone inside the cavern. As it hits the back wall, all of the creatures now turning and lifting their heads up, letting out small screeches as they begin to skitter over to where the origination of the sound is being heard. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
If I can, as a free action or bonus action, just say, all right, we all gotta push now. You just hear it coming out from a rock. Just like...
All right. That puts us to Tristan.
Then I guess I will try to push through the wall.
Okay. Is everybody pushing through the wall? Okay.
Absolutely.
In one
because
giant
you don't
force, all of you push forward towards the wall. Basil, you have something to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, where Grimoire shut that bell and made that ringing sound, I'm going to flip to a different page of the storybook and actually put Sicarious, an image of Sicarious, holding a sword, like ready to fight.
Over to where the sound originated from, or hit the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As you all continue to push against the wall, you
Great
feel
choice.
it crumble underneath. As you all kind of fall through at the same time. As you turn back, you see a number of the creatures now trying viciously to attack the image of Sicarious that stands close to the bell. As you move around the wall, it's very tight quarters at this point. But you find yourself on the other side of the lung wall as you continue forward down a little bit. Directly behind you, still hearing the screeching and wails of the void pyres behind you.
All right, let's keep moving.
I can't see the footprints anymore. So we'll just have to keep going. V will start moving.
Okay. All of you beginning to follow V from behind her. You walk for another 10 minutes or so before the wall begins to curve inward once more. And you find yourself in what you can only assume is the internal cavity of the chest of the god. ceilings higher than you've ever seen before, almost as if it disappears to the sky above. You see a number of large, bone-like protrusions that curve upward around the sides of the wall. And just as the Caprice said, you see another number of ventricle-like pathways that lead up to a single large stone. Not even a stone. This would be more of a landmass itself. And directly on top of it, you see the outward structure of a stronghold. You hear the clattering of what sounds like pickaxes and mining equipment off in the distance. You can see far off on some of the walls and around the floors just a few of the void pyres at this point. A number of miners walking by towards whatever their end goal state is. Because of the actions of Grimoire, whether right or wrong, it seems the majority have now funneled into the lungs.
You're damn right.
As you continue to look around, you get a strange sensation, the smell and taste of almost a metallic coppery on the back of your tongues. Reaching over to your side, you find your water pouch, feeling as if you could use a drink at this point.
Yes, must stay hydrated to make my beautiful skin shine.
What?
That wasn't even like Sicarious' personality before.
He's changed now. He's decided to be his true self now that we've decided to all trust each other. And
Yeah,
True. And his true self is Lucy. That's fine.
Either that or he's been mind controlled.
Yes.
Oh shit!
no.
Somebody needs a throat punch.
Coming right up.
As you continue to make your way into the cavern, looking around, seeing these strange ventricle-like bridges that look more akin to, or remind you closer to that of rope bridges leading up towards the giant landmass. You now see
Trust a rope bridge.
You now see a much better view of the stronghold itself. A large outer perimeter, a wall that spreads around the entire structure. Directly in the center, a large tower that reaches upwards. It has strange protrusions pointed coming out, giving a very demonic and ominous look to it. And directly in the center, you see a massive window that seems to be stained red with a glow behind it. Almost seeming like some type of fiendish eye that stares out, monitoring the lands before it.
Mm.
All right. What's the game plan?
I think it will be difficult to get in without being seen.
Well, maybe there's something I could conjure, like a mist or a fog, that might be able to aid in our advances. But for the time being, it seems as though at least a great deal of the void pyres have made their way away from this region. If we're going to move, we should do it now.
It's true. I mean, they're not going to fall for that whole thing very long. We should probably dead sprint, yeah?
Do we destroy that wall thing? Do we think that's the mind control thing? Oh no.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
The lung?
No, why would I know that?
No. I mean, you don't know if we should or not, or if that is what it is.
I'm not good at making decisions.
Okay.
I think we might need a closer look.
Well, we're not going
Alright.
to get anything done just standing here. Let's make our way closer.
After you.
I'm going to open up my book and create a thin roiling fog. I do have to do this every round. It is a verbal and somatic component. Actually, hold on. Ooh, hold on.
So you
It's
can
an
be
Eldritch
talking the whole time?
Invocation. Maybe. Hold on, wait. It's an Eldritch Invocation instead of an actual spell. For Misty Visions. No, I do cast it. Okay, no, never mind. Cast at will. Verbal somatic. Yeah. So it lasts for a minute. So I'll do this. I'll recast it every minute as we're progressing.
Okay. Now moving forward, you begin to ascend up one of these strange bridges. As you continue forward, you look down below, seeing a number of almost like a quarry that resides below you. You now see a number of the machinery, now knowing the originating spot of the sounds that you heard upon entering into the cavity. As you continue upward, you see a number of the miners completely oblivious to you moving forward as they seemingly walk past you in lines. Continuing upward, you stop for a moment at Basil's request as he recasts, seeing a slight fog surround all of you. Making it up halfway, 3/4 of a way. Finally making it up to the laying flat of the landmass itself. You now see just the extent of the large walls that surround the perimeter of the tower. A large portcullis allows you to enter through the doorway. The portcullis at this point open. And looking inward, you see what looks like an empty courtyard.
That can't be a trap at all.
No, not of course not.
So, I'm sorry, but I must have blacked out. My thing just froze for whatever reason. I couldn't hear anything. Did we pass by everything? Now we're in a new place?
We're at a portcullis leading to a courtyard.
Okay.
You've made it up one of the bridges. You are now on top of the landmass, or out of game what you would recognize as the heart.
Real quick, there's multiple bridges leading to this, right?
Correct.
Then, sorry about moves. After we cross the bridge,
He'll look to Oksana and say, "We should cut the bridge."
The
Good
bridge
call.
itself isn't a rope bridge. It is, in fact...
it is not a rope
It
bridge.
is a stone...
It's like one.
It reminds you of a stone bridge, the way that it's laid out.
Okay.
However, it is made of the same stone structure that the rest of the body is made from.
Oh, but
can try
wasn't that
breaking
easy?
it.
Wasn't that easy to break? It
Well,
will
through the
make
wall it
noise.
was.
It will crumble.
That's very true. Forget I said anything. I'm filled with terrible ideas.
Oh, sorry, I missed all of that. I froze too. Did I miss anything important?
It's fine. He said not to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's nothing in the middle. It's just an open
Yes.
space.
As you
No
go a
chance of
little
being a
bit
trap.
closer and closer to the courtyard, now getting a full view, you do see one individual, in fact two. One of the Void Pyres seemingly dragging one of the miners, now completely in its trance, by the foot or holding it by the ankle, dragging it up to a very large, ominous door. The door you see is much taller than it is wider. It seems to be made out of heavy metal coils that unnaturally twist around one another. The color itself, a disturbing, almost gunmetal red. Even the rings, or the ring door handles, appear to almost as if they're iron tendons that wrap and contort into these circlets. Even the doorway itself is uninviting, with two curved points that hang down like fangs. And more peculiar still, in the center of the door jettisons out what looks to be a large pipe. As it curves upward, you see a small bowl that resides directly on top of the pipe. You continue the watch as the Void Pyre drags the now entranced miner towards the door itself. As they finally make it to the doorway, you watch as he lifts up the miner, holding him by the back of his neck, and he pulls his head. Yes, Basil?
Yeah, I'm going to absolutely Eldritch Blast that Void Pyre as soon as I see him. Like,
we're about to find out how to get in the door. Let it happen.
I know, but we're here to save these people, and Basil's
stay true to
got
the
that
character. I
feeling.
love it.
This is what he would absolutely do. Like looking at like a big bowl and stuff like that. Look, of all the people here, Basil's seen horror movies, okay? We know how this goes down. And yeah, Basil's not even going to think. He's actually going to create the image of a Void Pyre, but it's just a shadow Void Pyre. This almost looks like a children's drawing at this point because of just how quick this, and he's going to launch it, which will like kind of have broken limbs. So this Void Pyre is kind of almost crab walking as it makes its way across the courtyard to that Void Pyre, and just kind of breaks into inky pieces as it collides with him.
Okay. As you all watch as this shadow version of the Void Pyre come flying out of the tome of Basil as it walks in almost an exorcist-like way, scattering very quickly towards the other Void Pyre, catching it completely off guard. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
There goes the element of surprise.
That's an 8.
An 8.
Oh.
Yes, evidently I've been rolling d10s for my D&D games this whole time. That's not what we're supposed to do. I mean, like, clearly I can't roll double digits.
As the now shadow Void Pyre breaks apart and slams against the wall, it doesn't seem to have much effect on the Void Pyre. However, the Void Pyre stops, dropping it and letting out a vicious squeal towards the doorway as it begins to make its way quickly towards you. I need y'all to roll initiative for me, please.
Thank you, Basil.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Next time, let the sacrifice go through. And so we can get in the door.
You're a shit soldier. 19.
Hold on.
Holding on.
From now on, I stand next to Basil, so that every time he raises his hand, I'm going to slap it down.
With a hair flick, right?
Yeah.
No! You don't!
All right.
Sorry, guys. I apologize.
Don't apologize.
Sicarious,
It's
what
great.
would you
We
like to
just
do?
expect you to keep this up.
Oh, Sicarious,
Do we-
sorry. Your initiative.
Huh?
Sicarious
14.
initiative, 14? Oksana.
That's a nat 1 for 3.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh.
3 more?
18.
18. V.
23.
23.
Damn.
Bird.
Tristan.
Damn.
What is your...
That's a
I
3,
rolled
4,
a
5.
19. All right, everybody.
And
I
Basil.
rolled- I do have a +4.
What'd you roll, Basil?
19.
19.
Feeling we're about to hear a really cheesy pickup line.
We haven't long rested. I only have 1 left, guys, so I have to make it count.
Oh, thank God.
All right,
It's
V,
all right.
spurting
I can
into
see my
action
reflection. I
directly
inspired
by your
myself.
friend from following the your friend Basil. What would you like to do? Basil, you're on deck.
I I will, I guess, take a step forward a little bit in front of everybody. This thing is running at us, right?
Correct.
V will again use a spell slot. She will cast Thunder Wave again, so that a cone will shoot out towards this creature. She will whisper under her breath again, and you'll just see that like sonic boom wave, like purple wavy. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh my god, like purple sound wave.
Okay.
Comes from within her.
Okay. Is that a save?
Con save.
Con save.
Con save. Yeah.
That's going to be a 17.
You succeed, which is still half damage. So that is. Hold on. $10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Very good.
Yes.
Yep.
And any objects that are unsecured are pushed 10 feet away.
Okay. The Void Pyre gets pushed back a little bit as it reconstitutes itself, as it begins to make its way towards you once more. V, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn? Hold on, Basil, getting to you.
Oh no, this is a reaction.
Oh, okay.
So, as the Void Pyre is pushed back, I'm going to use Psychic Retribution to add additional damage to that attack. And as the Void Pyre flies backwards, it lands next to the half-melted visage of the Void Pyre I sent in the first round, who's like got bits missing from his face and his body.
Right.
It basically just grabs hold from behind and goes and deals an extra 6 points of damage on top of these. And that's the last one I have for that.
Okay, very good. As you watch as the creature seems to react to something, but no one can actually see what it seems to be reacting to. As it jumps back to its feet, it turns back again, thrusting its claws to the side. Basil, you're up. What would you like to do? Greenmore, you're on deck.
Wait, I want bonus action.
Oh yeah, bonus action. I'm sorry. Go ahead, V.
Bonus action. Bardic Inspiration.
Jesus Christ.
V will turn to Basil this time, and she will turn around, sort of look coyly over her shoulder, give him a wink, and then say, "Your father must be a thief. He stole all the stars out of the sky and put them in your eyes."
Does V never get laid? Is that what's happening? That's what's canon in my mind right now. V is permanently in the friend zone of everyone she meets.
I mean, she'd be lucky to be in the friend zone.
That's true. That's very true. Dear Lord.
Oh, Basil secretly thinks my dad wasn't a thief. He was an upstanding man who loved his wife and ran a museum.
All right. With that, finally, thank God, over with. Basil, you're up. Greenmore, you're on deck.
All right. I am now very distracted, which I'm also counting as my inspiration, and I'm going to rip out my cautionary tale and basically have a version of my father, like kind of this very stern, strict kind of individual with a ruler, like, you know, kind of like the principal of a homeschool kind of thing. And I'm going to have them go up and literally just like slap this Void Pyre in the jaw.
Okay, that's not telling. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
I didn't say I had the most comfortable of upbringings. All right. That is a 22 to hit.
22 absolutely hits as your father backhands this Void Pyre in front of everyone.
All right. That is 6 points of damage, unfortunately.
Okay. The slap across the Void Pyre's face jerks his head around a bit as it slashes forward a little bit as the tail evaporates in front of him. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Take cover behind Oksana.
Okay, fair enough. Greenmore, you are up. Sicarious, you're on deck.
Greenmore fumbly grabs his hand crossbow. Oh, for fuck's sake.
just trying to like jump into this fray. But upon trying to load one of his bolts, he cuts his gum on the drawstring, and it fires randomly. So see if it hits.
All right, fair enough. As you skitter around, bringing yourself into the courtyard just a touch to get a perfect eye view towards the void pyre, you pull back with your teeth, splitting your lip open as it shoots wildly. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Oh, that's funny, but it's good. That is a 21 to hit.
21 to hit. It bounces off
ricochets off.
Yeah, it ricochets off the door itself. You hear a loud boom as it hits and somehow thrusts backward, hitting the void pyre directly in the back. It pushes itself forward as it squeezes its shoulder blades. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Well, I'll do the damage first off. But
Oh, right.
is that at sneak attack because I took my initiative before him, or is that?
No, it's sneak attack. So well, I guess technically it was a sneak attack originally. High or low for your benefit?
Low, because that's a 3.
I rolled a 3. So there you go.
Are you kidding? That's 2 in a row.
That's 2 in a row tonight.
Man, we should do.
I know, we should do talk Cardiff. That's what I'm hearing.
So that's 8 points of piercing damage plus another 6 points. So 14.
14 points.
Total.
As the bolt lodges directly in the creature's back, it begins to thrust its hands all around, trying to reach towards its back, completely off guard at this point. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yes. Bonus action, hiding behind Basil, who is hiding behind Oksana.
Okay. I imagine like a Congo line of people lining up behind Oksana. Fantastic. Sicarious, you're up. What would you like to do?
Is it within 30 feet?
Is the creature within 30 feet?
Yeah.
It's just outside of the 30-foot range, so it'd probably be about 45 to 50 feet.
Then I will move to the front of everybody and then hold my action to when it gets within range to attack it.
Sorry, say that again?
I'm going to move in front of where everybody is, stand in front, and then hold my action so if the creature continues to move forward, I will use my reaction to attack.
Okay, fair enough. With that said,
He's
that's
taking the front of the conga line.
Yep. Yeah.
That's right.
Jesus Christ. We got to dress Rob and cosplay up more, I think.
Yep.
As the creature, it seemingly is able to pull out the bolt from behind it. You watch as a blackish ichor now pouring down its wrists, as it suddenly begins to push its back outward. You watch and hear the cracks of its bones as what look like skeletal wings now begin to part from the back of it. More of the black ichor falling off as it begins to fly up in a kind of an arced direction. It flies up for a moment before coming crashing down upon all of you. Sicarious, you are in front, so it's going to go ahead and try and make a dive bomb attack against you. That is going to be...
Green's downward, it sounds like this.
Hey, railroaded, guys.
Thanks, guys. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
A 21 will hit.
Okay. It crashes into you with its claws stretched outward. It reaches towards your face and begins to scratch. You feel as its nails dig into your skin. It almost feels as if it's going to pull your face off entirely. You take 6 points of slashing damage.
6 slashing damage. All right.
Okay. Now,
so now that it's in range, am I able to use my reaction to attack it?
You absolutely are.
And can I use my inspiration?
Do you have inspiration?
It was in chat.
No. If it's in chat, then it's only for checks.
Okay. Then I'll attack.
Don't you wish I used my inspiration on you?
I know. All right, 11 plus 5, so that'll be a 16.
Not the reaction you expected. Huh?
A 16 does hit as you push the creature away, slicing forward with your sword, still on your, sitting upright at this point, but slashing forward towards it. Go ahead and roll some damage for me.
6, 4, and 3, so 10, 13.
13 points of damage?
Correct.
It carves into the chest of the creature as it kind of bursts forward, almost like an overcooked hot dog at this point. You watch as its chest cavity pops out a little bit, a few of its now sunken in ribs snapping inward. You watch more of the black ichor now pouring out of the creature's chest. It's looking very damaged at this point. Okay, it's not in range to bite you anymore, so Tristan, you're up. Oksana, you're on deck.
All right. We'll start casting, and you will see a small bluish tombstone just pop out of the ground in front of me and start floating. When it gets to my height, it flips horizontally and just start going straight for the vampire.
Okay.
Casting Eldritch Blast.
Very good. Very good. Okay. As the... Go ahead.
I was going to say that's a 21 to hit, I think.
The tombstone meeting it directly in the chest as it gives almost a crumbling shatter effect to it, although it dissipates into light shards. Go ahead and roll some damage for me.
Oh, nice. 13.
13 points of damage. Very good. The creature now falls down to one knee as it slowly grabs onto its chest, trying to stand back up. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Oksana, stepping forward away from the Congo line. What would you like to do?
Oksana has her axe slung over her shoulder, and she looks at Basil and kisses her teeth. Like she's irritated that he missed. And then she's going to saunter forward. And I'm going to attempt to grapple the Void Pyre. I'm going to try to grab it by the back of its neck.
Okay.
For an action. So
Well, I'll say if you're attempting to just grapple it, I'll give it to you as a bonus action. So go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Okay, so that is going to be a 19.
19 just beats my 18. You grab onto the back as it kind of tilts its head as you kind of lift it up a little bit, almost like the scruff of a young I have to pick my words here. An undisciplined pup, if you will.
Now I feel bad about what I'm about to do now that you've compared it to a pup.
It's a really ugly pup.
No such things.
I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna try to cut its head off. Or sorry, I have it by the neck, so I'm gonna try to cleave it in the head, in the skull.
Okay, go ahead and make
punch.
Throat punch.
I didn't have time to put the gold in my knuckles. I didn't want to waste time. Hey,
listen. If you want to do the gold punch, we'll retcon it to say that as you sauntered over, you reached into your pouch and grabbed some of your coins.
Sure.
There you go.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, I'll throat punch it.
Okay.
Try to squish its neck, basically.
All right. As you lift up the back of the neck, you do a hard punch towards the throat punch area. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Okay, that is gonna be 20.
If you miss, I swear to God.
Did I not? I have to roll to hit first. Oh my God, I'm gonna miss. I missed.
Well, if he's grappled, is it at advantage?
It is at advantage.
Only if he's prone.
We'll give her advantage because I'll give you advantage just because you're. I mean, you're holding it by the neck. You can't really.
There we go. 19 to hit.
19
to hit.
All right. In that case, Oksana gives one look back towards Basil and no look punches towards the throat of the creature. As she thrusts her hand forward, you feel your hand dig through the neck of the creature. More of the black ichor now splashing all around your hand. You connect, you feel the coins in the opposite palm of your hand as you punch through the neck of the Void Pyre. Its head kind of falls off to the side. It's not a clean cut in any way, shape, or form, as little bits of serrated skin and flesh still remain. As its head kind of tilts over to one side, not a full punch through, as it kind of just dangles there, as with its tongue slung out to the side, as you drop it to the ground.
I'll look back at V. And I'll say, you see? Punch its head off! And then I'll wink.
Wow. I am stunned in more ways than one, Oksana.
Thank you. Yes, it's magnificent. Yes.
It's definitely a way to get ahead in life.
Oh.
Oh, dude.
I punched Sicarious. No.
Getting the ladder paddle.
I thought Chris left last season. Dear Lord.
Okay, wow.
Oh, God.
All right, that takes us out of the combat order. As you look around, now the Void Pyre's body slumped over on the ground, completely lifeless. You still see directly beside the door the miner that is still completely in a trance at this point. What would you guys like to do?
V, do your thing.
Sicarious is so gold, I can't do it anymore.
What does that mean?
That was part of my change of fates, right, Dave?
That was the end of your change of fate.
You're right
Right,
to
but I
think you
mean-
can't do it anymore.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
So I cannot do it anymore, but I suppose we could. Do we really have to be throat punching these people?
I will do it gently. I'll just give him a little,
Hold his head back for you so you get a very clear shot.
just a little baby throat punch.
A baby throat punch.
Baby
Should
throat
pick the Adam's apple.
Yeah. As you baby throat punch a miner.
All right.
Context
Yes.
is important, and the correct spelling of those words is important.
Fine.
Someone
Miner with an E.
As you baby
Miner with
punch
an
a
E.
throat miner with an E, you watch as a small globule creature kind of emerges from its mouth. He spits it forward as his eyes kind of flash back into focus. Now watching as Oksana holds him up by the chest, his eyes immediately grow wide. Please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Relax. I'll set him down and then I'll crush the bug really quickly. We are not here to hurt you.
So now that he's free, where does he
where
go?
is he gonna go? I was just about to say. He now has to find his way out.
Good luck, friend.
You should make your way for the small intake.
Who are you
He's a
people?
minor.
Through a million vampires.
Yes, you'll be fine. Just head that way.
Here,
Wait,
before you go.
What? No, wait. He is
What?
a minor. He knows this place. Maybe this person can help us before
Yes.
he goes away.
Yes.
He, she, they. I don't even know. I'm not sure.
I appreciate
help
that.
us?
My pronouns are he, him.
Okay. Can you help us?
Can I help you do what?
How much do you remember?
It's all a bit blurry. I remember being in the mines. We were digging. It's just a continuous loop of blackness, then digging, then blackness, then digging, then blackness. Not
You know
sure
you
what
were
I can
around.
help you with.
Can you get out?
Can I get out of where?
Here. You know a way out of here.
Have vague memories of being brought here in a cage on a ship. And that's after we got here, that's when the blackness started.
Okay. So no,
Yes,
we
you
can't-
have been Go ahead, Basil.
I was going to say, we can't leave him here in this current state, or at least we can't rely on him to leave while he is in such a befuddled way. I think that for now, sorry, what was your name?
My name's Sir
Yes.
Thompson. My name's Thompson.
Thompson, for now at least, would you be able to feign a torporic state and just remain in this area until we have concluded our activities here? Then when we make our way out, we'll take you with us.
Would it be all right if I just would hide?
That would be most proper. Yes.
I'd be happy to feign whatever you're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not an educated man in any way.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
want you to pretend like you're still under the controls of the creatures.
Yeah, I understand. I will lay low. And if I come across any creatures, I will, as you say.
Can you tell us how to get to Ajax?
You don't want to go towards Ajax. You want to go the opposite direction of Ajax.
No, we want to kill him.
We're here to stop him and end all of this.
You're mad. But I will say this. Through those doors, you'll find what you are looking for.
What do you say about trying to kill the beast that controls the miners before we head in there? That way he can't use them against us.
Do it quickly.
Do you know this beast I speak of?
I assume you speak of Ajax.
Yes, but he has some kind of pet he's using to control people's minds, like yourself.
A beast. I remember a cage. I remember tubes. I remember arms that wiggled. And I remember an eye. I'm sorry, that's all I remember.
This eye. Where is this eye?
Find your way to the center of the tower.
It is through the same door?
Go through the door. There's only a few hallways inside. If I remember correctly, there is a way to the left. I remember being taken there. I remember the tubes. The tubes. And I remember continuing onward towards the pit. He and the beast you speak of reside over top of the pit.
They are together then.
Good. Now we don't have to search different areas for them.
Yes, but it would have been helpful to eliminate the beast before we went for Ajax. This will be very challenging.
Well, likely we can still follow that same strategy, even if they're in the same room. We could still make the pet our primary.
This is a good point, because if he gets control of one of us, that will get very messy. I will have to throat punch you.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't
As
recommend
long as
it.
it's a baby throat punch, we'll all be fine.
I will do my
Wait,
best.
did I not get the baby throat punch? Was baby throat punch always an option? I got a full throat. I nearly died.
You asked for throat punch. I gave you what you wanted. Anyway.
Let's make our way to the door. You, sir, hide.
Yes, of course. And many luck to all of you. As he turns and runs.
Thompson, before you go, I produce 2 coins and I give it to them just in case.
As you put the coins into his hand, they rest in his palm for but a moment before they vanish.
Oh.
Oh well, that wouldn't work.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
With the shot.
Thank you. as he turns and begins to run in the opposite
Wait, no,
direction.
wait, hold up.
Yes.
In place of the coins that did, here. And he gives him 2 ball bearings and winks out. The most versatile tool in the universe. And he'll just turn around and not even wait for his reaction and head to inspect the door.
He just kind of stands there for a moment, staring at the ball bearings in his hands, as you all turn towards the door itself.
Wait, Thompson. Before you go,
Let the man go.
here's a small handful of sand. Use it as pocket sand and throw it in their eyes.
He reaches out his other hand.
Is now regretting being saved.
He now has 2 ball bearings and a small pile of sand in his other palm. I will.
You are now the most dangerous man known alive.
I will
Good luck,
use.
Justin.
Okay.
You're probably
As
You're a great warrior.
Basil kind of
Just slowly
turns him
goes.
around and gives him a little
Away.
pat to send him on its way. The man just continues to. He watches his head, looks back and forth, not really sure what to do before he disappears behind the portcullis, leaving you all in front of the doorway.
Safe.
As
Let me check out this door.
Yes.
See if it's locked. Or trapped.
Good
Exactly.
call.
which one do you want to do first?
So smart.
See if it's trapped first.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me. 18. As you kind of overlook the mechanisms of the door, there doesn't seem to be any traps on it, albeit it's a very odd structure. There doesn't seem to be a natural key to it in any way. And as you push forward a little bit, it is undoubtedly locked.
Let's see. We
I
should
don't know how to
let him
open this
the
thing,
door.
Is it? You want me to break it down?
Wait,
Well,
before
if
we-
you try, you might make a lot of noise.
Yeah, before
Yes.
we break it down, I mean, there was quite clearly this large bowl and some tubes going to it. And from what I ascertained from an educated guess, educated being very loosely a term, it looked as though perhaps it might have needed some fluids like blood. This is, of course, a god's heart, and one might presume that these valves or this interwoven bit of fiber might need blood in order to become lubricated enough to open.
Oh wait,
Trouble is-
wait. I get out the vial with
I was just gonna
V's
say.
blood. I'm like, here. I don't know if it's enough, but
Hey,
Well, thank
it's a
you.
start.
I'm still not overly okay with the collecting of blood, let alone you handing it to me now. But my point is that the fact that he brought this whole person may that there may be quite a quantity of blood required.
So are you suggesting that the key just walked away?
No, I'm suggesting that rather than trying to drain a single individual of all of their life essence, that perhaps a small amount from each of us may suffice to provide it with the quantity it requires.
Why don't we try?
Count this
Yes.
line.
No, Tristan, that is what the fuck is wrong? with you?
We're going to let's try the let's try the small vial and see how that works, and then
Yes.
if it doesn't, then we'll this is my thoughts. Okay, just blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
That's a very weird sound for a glass bottle, but it made it.
Can I get the vial back, please?
I hand over this blood-stained vial.
Thank you.
Tristan wants to lick the bowl, I guess.
No.
You do you, buddy.
As you pour Oksana, or not Oksana, V's blood into the bowl itself, your assumptions seem to be correct. As you watch as through the coils, there seems to be an emanation, a glow of sorts that lightens the red around it. It begins to fill up, but only about a fifth of the way.
But I guess that was my contribution.
Right, Tristan. V will take out her dagger and she will cut her hand.
Lots of tender things in the hand. I'm going to. Do I have anything pointy? I have a dagger. I do have a dagger. What have I had a dagger for? I apparently have weapons. Okay, I'm gonna take her, and I'm going to poke the back of my hand.
Okay. V, as you slice down the palm of your hand, squeezing it over top, you all watch as the blood drips down in a silvery fashion into the bowl itself. V, you take 3 points of slashing damage, and you watch as the coils rise higher. Basil, you do the same. Now, piercing the back of your hand, you take 2 points of piercing damage. As you hold out your hand, squeezing it at the wrists, you all watch as a silvery, viscous fluid drains from the back of his hand into the bowl. Fills up even further.
Okay.
I walk. Okay, you can do it yourself.
Okay.
I'll do like he did.
Okay. Oksana doing the same. You give a slight cut on the back of your hand, holding your wrist as the blood pours into the bowl. You take 2 points of damage. By this point, it's 3/4 of the way full. It seems that probably one more offering will do.
I'll walk towards V, and I'll just put my hand out. She has a dagger.
Oh, sorry. I thought you wanted to hold my hand because you were scared. V will, I guess, cut his hand.
I'll grab it and just let her slide it out.
Okay.
If
You
this
take
isn't trust, I
2
don't know what
points.
is.
You take 2 points of slashing damage as the last bits of blood you watch as it circles around the bowl before it enters down into the tube. Now making its way through the various coils, it now fills to the very top. You watch as the red now giving an ominous glow through little slots in the coils themselves. And as they do, you hear a very loud click.
Quick question. Everybody that's 10 feet around me, are we all healing as we're going per round? The D4?
That's true.
Right.
Everybody would be in
Every 6
in
seconds,
vicinity.
basically.
Yeah, you're all in vicinity, so you all heal for 1d4.
Oh shoot! All right.
Just stay close.
Just
I
one.
got you.
Just once though, or
Yes, just once.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Shall we push the door open?
Absolutely.
All right, V will push
Grab
it
the
open.
door.
Okay. As Sicarious and V push the door open, it swings very slowly and wide, looking at each other in a solemn glance, giving a few head nods. You begin to make your way into the stronghold proper, and as you disappear into the darkness, the door closes slowly behind you, giving a small rumble throughout the empty cavern of the chests. And that, my friends, is going to be a story for another evening.
No.
Oh, gonna die.
Oh, gonna
Probably.
die. Yeah. Rowdy.
Rowdy, thank you
lived.
No.
so much for the 5757. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Heinz. Heinz, if you're out there and you're watching and you're looking to sponsor a very fashionable D&D group, well, let me tell you, you came to the right spot and you can pay us in ketchup because everybody loves it. Heinz,
Wow.
57. You know what's good for you when you eat ketchup.
Also, are you bringing back the colored ketchups you did the one time? You know,
Are you talking about the green ketchup?
yeah, they had green and purple. It was crazy.
Oh, green did not go down well.
It's true.
Fuck our sponsorship up, man.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, baked beans.
They do baked beans.
They do baked beans, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Oh shit! 100,000 bit meter hit for Rowdy. Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Rowdy.
You're so in jail.
You are in trouble.
Incredibly jailed.
All right. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this evening. Thank you for all of the bits, donations, all of those wonderful things. You are all fantastic and wonderful for us. We are going to have a little bit of an after party in our Discord tonight. It's very special. We're all dressed up and got nowhere to go. So we'll head on over there. And I don't know why I keep touching my fist to my chin, but that's what Faye does all the time. And it seems to make people like her. Anyway, we're going to do a little bit of rating for the evening. If you can stick around for that, that would be a wonderful thing because it helps us. It helps the people that we're going to be raiding. Do we have someone to raid tonight? Got it. Okay, in that case, why don't we raid into our friends over at Dorktales. Dorktales is a fun group, and they seem to be cosplaying as well. I don't know if it's for Halloween or if this is what they do on a regular basis. But we'll raid into them. Use hashtag CCLoveRaid when you make it over there. Don't forget to follow, because following is free and it helps everybody out. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do, and y'all should do it because it's just a nice thing to do. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to start the raid and leave you with this. To all the adventurers out there, whether diving deep into the throat of a goddess or finding yourself in a stronghold with a guy named Thompson and you just want to screw with him a little bit, I beg of you all, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. Oh,
Don't be feminist like myself. It's okay.
Oh boy.
Love all your faces. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
Mwah.
Bye now.
Mwah.